Alright, let's get started. First, I'm going to comment out this part because I don't need it yet, but I will later on. So, the program loop. The program runs as long as the user does not exit out. So the condition is unknown. A while loop will work nicely here. First, I have to make a variable to hold the condition for this loop. Let's call it run status. Next, I need to make the loop, which runs as long as run status is equal to running. Okay, a statement can't be empty, so I'm going to just put in a blank print statement. So, there are two states to the program. You have the first one, where the user enters in the links and then the download happens. And the second one is where the user says, no, I want to exit the program, and the program exits. The first state, where the user enters in the links, I can't use an if statement here because I don't know how many links the user will enter. So I have to use a while loop. The second state, where the user will exit out of the program, I can use an if statement because, well, that's just one thing that happens. So, yeah. Anyways, before checking for these states, though, I have to actually get the user input because the user has to enter in download or exit or something. So, I'm going to make a variable, call it user input, and the value is the user input. And I'm going to put in a prompt to ask the user what option they want. So, I'm going to say that the user will enter in download to start the process of downloading. And I'm going to have the user enter in, let's say, exit to exit the program. Alright, great. So, that's done. I'm going to start with the exit part because that's the easiest thing. So, I'm going to make an if statement to check if the user has entered in, I said exit. And the condition is if the user input is equal to exit. Then what I'm going to do, if that is the case, is change the run status to call it not running. Okay, let's see if this works. I type in download, it's not going to do anything. But anyways, yep, exit. It exited. Okay, that works just fine. So the easy part is done. Now, on to the state where the user enters in the link, or the links. So earlier, I said that I have to use a while loop here because I don't know how many links the user will enter. So, I'm going to do just that. Now, what is the condition of this while loop? Well, while user input. Well, no, actually, wait, no. I can't use user input here because I have to break out of this loop somehow. So, I'm going to make a variable to keep this second while loop running. Like so. And I've called it link loop status. So this inner loop will run as long as link loop status is equal to running. And now I'm going to make it so that the link loop status is not equal to running unless the user input is equal to download. So I'm going to leave the value of the link loop status as blank for now, and then I'm going to check if the user input is equal to download. This is where I can use an if statement. So if user input is equal to, I said download, and I have to make that a quote. Then link loop status is equal to running. The string running. And I'm going to put in a placeholder thing here so I don't have an error. Okay. Now if I run this, I say download. I should be seeing just like a bunch of... I should be seeing this, which means that this while loop is running because right now all it's doing is just printing out the letter A infinitely. Now that I have this while loop, the inner while loop working, I need a way to actually exit out of this loop. So first I'm going to prompt the user to enter in a link or to exit this loop. So what I've done is I've asked the user to enter in first, one option is the link that they want to download from. Or they can enter in done and the download happens, or they can enter exit and then they go back to the previous menu. So now I've got 3 statuses to look for. I'll start with the first one, which is exit. Here an if statement will work just fine, because I'm just doing one thing, which is exiting the downloading loop. And the condition will be if, actually no, I need to get the user input first, don't I? So let's call it user input inner download and values input. That's better, okay. Now if inner download user input is equal to, I said exit, then the loop I've just created will exit. So this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna change this to not running. So let's see if this works. I go download and I'm gonna type in exit, and now it goes enter exit to exit the program. So yep, I'm going to do that. That worked. Excellent. Now, the other 2 states. Enter the link, enter done. So here I can use if statements because really it's just like one thing happening. So I'm going to start with, let's say, enter link. So, how can I tell when a user has entered in the link? I'm going to assume that if the user has not entered done and not entered exit, what they've entered is a link. That's not the most effective way because, well, what if the user hasn't entered a valid link? But this is the easiest way, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so first if statement. And the condition is, I said I would consider it a link if the input is not done. So if the input is not done, and also if the input is not exit. Okay, great. And if this happens, I want to prompt the user to do the following. Enter in the track title. Enter in the track artist. And enter in the track album. Alright, great. And just so that I don't have an error here, I'm going to put in a blank print statement. Okay, so here we are, and the other state is if the user has entered in done. So I'm going to make an if statement, and the condition will be if user input inner download is equal to I said done is equal to done. Then I'm going to print out a message saying that the download will now commence. Alright, here we are. Now let's see if this works. So, I know that exit works. I'm going to enter in download. Okay. Let's start with exit. Yep, that works. Now let's go with done. Enter done to commence downloading. Great. That worked. And I'm going to enter in, let's pretend this is a link. It's not, but I said earlier that for this I'm just going to say that anything which is not exit and not exit and not done is a link. So I don't have any. Actually, wait. Yeah, I see debug link download, so that worked. Excellent. Okay, now, before I can download from the link, I need first off the link and then the artist, title, and album. So the question now is, how do I keep all the information together? Like, how do I make sure that when a user types in a link and then followed by the artist, title, and all that stuff, those three pieces of metadata stay with the link that they have entered? So here's how I can do it. First, I have to make 4 synchronized lists. And in Python, a list is just a container which is expandable. So first off, I am going to make the list for the links. And to make a list, a blank list, the value of the variable is simply a pair of square brackets. So next, I'm going to make a list for the title. Next, I'm going to make a list for the artist. And finally, one for the album. Alright, so to answer the question of how to keep all the information synchronized. So let's say that I have 2 links here. Let's call it link 1 and link 2. Let's say that I have 2 track titles. Call it title 1 and title 2. Let's also say that I have 2 artists and 2 albums. So artist 1 and artist 2. And album 1 and album 2. So link 1 has the metadata of title 1, artist 1, album 1. Link 2 has the metadata of title 2, artist 2, and album 2. Now, this is element number 0 in terms of indexing, and 0, and 0, and 0. This is element number 1 in terms of indexing. So 1, 1, 1, 1. Everything which is in index 0, which is this, and this, are for link 1. And everything in index number 1 goes to link 2. So using that method, that's how I'm going to keep all the information together. So I'm going to remove what I just did. And here we go. So there is one change that I have to make. I have to move the list of links to download outside the if, but inside of this loop. This is because when this if statement runs, all of these lists will not exist anymore. That also means that I have to move the other lists outside of the if statement. And fix the indenting. Yeah. So, now that I have the whole scope problem fixed, I can now ask the user to enter in a track title. So, I have the prompt, and now I have to get the user input. Once I have the user input, I have to put this user input into the list of track titles. So in Python, how do I append values to a list? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Like this. Now, my list was called track titles dot append, and then the thing that I want to append is this. First though, I'm going to move this right under the comment. I'm going to repeat this whole thing with the artist. And I'm going to do the same thing with the album. Okay, now, at this point, I am going to insert the link that the user has entered into the links to download. But before I do this, what I'm going to do is ask the user if the metadata that they've entered is correct. So, I'm going to ask the user this. The user will be asked to confirm the track link, the track title, the track artist, and the track album. And then I'm going to ask the user to basically enter in yes or no, this is the correct information. So, is this correct? Then I'm going to get the user input as to the answer to this question. So, let's call it confirm input. And the answer is yes or no. So, if the confirm input is equal to yes, then what I'm going to do is save the information to the lists. And if the user enters in something which is not the string yes, then I am going to simply not save it. So that's what I'm going to do. First though, I'm going to change this message here to is this correct to is this correct? Enter yes to confirm. And then, so, now I can't leave these if statements blank. And I forgot this. So I'm basically just going to, for now, if the input is yes, then print a blank string, and if it is not yes, then I am going to print out the following. So let's see if this works. I'm going to go download. I'm going to go, well, I'm going to go enter in the link. This is not a video, but at this point it doesn't really matter. A track title. A random string, a random string, a random string. Okay. Track link. Yep, I got the link. Track title. Yep. Artist. Yep. The album. Well, I outputted the wrong thing. I'm going to change that later after this. But for now, I'm going to type in yes, I do. Yep, and that worked. And I'm going to go download again. and enter track title. Or, yep, okay. I'm gonna go yes. I mean, anything else? The inputs will be discarded. So that worked. And then I'm gonna exit out of this program and change this. I want not the list of album inputs, but rather the user input for the album inputs. Alright, so that works. Now I'm going to actually save the metadata. So, I'm going to first append the links, the link that the user has entered, into the list of links. Now, I am going to append the track title to the list of track titles. And then I'm going to append the track artist to the list of track artists. And finally, I'm going to append the track album to the list of track albums. Okay, so just to double check, links to download, I'm appending the link. Track title, I'm appending the track title. Track artist, I'm appending the track artist. Track album, I'm appending the track album. Great. I can remove this. Just for testing purposes, to see if things actually did save, I am going to print out the contents of each of these lists. And here we go. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to go download. Enter a link to download from. Same thing as before. Or that, whatever. Let's go with title, artist, album. So, I have entered in this, the link, title, artist, album, correct? Yes, I do. Oh, hold on. I see it twice. Title, artist, album. That's an easy fix. And that's because, well, I've inputted it twice. Here, and also down here. So I'm going to fix that real quick and then try again. Okay, that's better. Now, okay, I'm going to go download and then enter the link. Let's go with this. A, B, C. Okay, so I have the link, artist, title, album. Is this correct? Yes, it is. And, okay, I see the link and then ABC, which I put in for the inputs, for the metadata. Okay, great. So now let's enter in another link. Yep, is this correct? And it looks like the previous thing that I saved did not save. I think I put the lists in the wrong scope. I'm just going to move these lists outside of this loop. Let's put them like right here. And fix the indenting. And that should do it. So yeah, let's see what happens now. Now, when I run this thing, and go download, enter a link. Is this correct? Yes, it is. I see what I've entered. Now I'm entering another link. Yes, I do. And now I'm seeing two sets of inputs. This, and this, and this, and this. So great, that works just fine. Now, I'm going to go to the download part here. Just for 1 second. So, once the links have been downloaded, what I want to do is clear the lists. Because what if the user wants to enter in more links? They don't want to re-download the stuff that they've already downloaded, right? So I'm going to do that. So, how do you clear a list in Python? Like this. Just, clear. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the names of everything here because that's easier. And then under clear the links, fix the indenting, remove this part, and I'm going to go, what was it, clear? Yes, clear. So let's see if this works. So I go download, and then, yep, and then I'm going to enter another link. And now I see two sets of data here. And then I'm going to exit out. Actually, no, not that. Done. Now, I'm going to enter in something else for the link. And I see one set of data. Okay, that is good. Alright, so I have the links and the metadata. Now I can download. So, the download bit was here. So, what do I need? I need the links that I'm getting from, and I already have them right here. And this is what I want. I'm gonna save this for later. First, I actually have to set up the download part. So, I have the links. Now I need to set the download options. So this bit here. So here. And here we are. Next, I need to actually download from the links. So this part here. And here we go. Now, let's see if this works. So open up terminal. Cancel this out, and run this thing. I go download, and I want to download this thing here, and enter in the link, entered link, track title, and artist, and album, and yes to confirm, and done. Links are downloading. And would you look at that? It downloaded. And here is where I'm going to stop for now. For the next part, I'm going to be working on applying the metadata.